All right, welcome everybody. This is the LA County's Common Core State Standards Math webinar for October 21st, 2020. I just realized that this is the actual first webinar because the one that was in August had to get canceled and moved due to all kinds of various reasons. But I want to welcome all of you for joining me today. Also joining me today is Jackie Booker, our Senior Math Program Specialist. You want to say hi, Jackie?
Hello, everyone. Good to be here.
And if you'll please be so kind, find that chat box and type in your district, school name. If you're not working for a school district, you work for a charter, go ahead and write that in. If you are not part of a school district or charter, then type in the name of your organization that you are joining as well. So this webinar is an informational webinar providing you with all kinds of updates, news in terms of what's going on at the federal level, state level, regional level, and local level. And this is just a short 1 hour, sometimes an hour, sometimes 45 minutes. It really just depends on the amount of information that we need to share. And you also have the opportunity to ask questions, maybe get some clarifications, or whatever else may have come up during your school day, school week, during the academic year. So please use that chat box accordingly. Use that chat box to type in any questions you may have, if you need any kind of clarifications, or anything else of that matter. Jackie will do her best to monitor that chat box and stop me occasionally as needed so that we can answer any and all of your questions. So we're going to go ahead and get started. This is being recorded, and so just to let you know, you will be receiving the archive webinar for this. And I believe Jackie may have also placed in the chat box the resource for today's session as well. And if she hasn't, I'm pretty sure she'll do that. All right. So again, we want to welcome you. This is, I am Anthony Kwan with LA County Office of Education. I am the STEM coordinator here, and the STEM unit provides resources, professional development, and consultation for all things Common Core Math, Next Generation Science Standards, Computer Science Standards, STEM Initiative. And again, Jackie is here with us as our Senior Program Math Specialist, providing assistance around the Common Core mathematics for K through 6, and if needed, K through 8. Okay, so before we get started, I want to call to your attention something that has been brewing on our end in terms of we're now in the, we just finished kind of the first quarter, so to speak. And I want to call to your attention something that, that much of the state is going through, including you as well. So we're going to watch this short little video here. So I'd like for you to take a moment now and use the chat box and type in what you're wondering, what you noticed as a result of watching this particular video clip. And if you've seen it before, then hopefully you're still having the same kind of reactions that many of us have when it comes to seeing this particular film as well. So you please use that chat box and let's see what you guys are thinking in terms of, again, what did you notice? What are you wondering as a result of watching this particular video clip? And let's see what's going on in the chat. Missing human interactions, absolutely. Routine is not engaging, yeah. Complete isolation, spiraling downward, shelter at home, isolating, frustrating, yeah. So we wanted to call to your attention this particular case in terms of the whole distance learning. Right now, even we at the state level are struggling with this as well in terms of what's going on with that whole LCAP, with the attendance plan. And I personally do think that that whole attendance plan component is what's causing a lot of troubling confusion about how we should be doing this whole distance learning piece. Again, this is just my opinion. I know Jackie has her thoughts on these as well. And we really do need to figure out how to best utilize the whole distance learning component. We do know that that learning continuity and attendance plan is pretty open when it comes to the interpretation, but we are finding that many districts are being very, very rigid when it comes to that. So some of the components I'm hearing is that students has to be on constantly throughout the day. So for instance, a second grader, first grader could be online from as early as 8 a.m. until 3 o'clock. We've got lots of students who are just constantly on, and so now we're worrying about their eyesight, etc. When we had, I think my wife had gone to see an optometrist, and the optometrist actually said, I would prefer that the students actually get off the computer and go ahead and watch TV, just because the fact that they're watching their computer screens up close for so long that they are not allowed to get their eyes focused on something else completely. They're completely drawn on there. And so we're questioning and trying to figure out how to get that word out about what is the right balance between synchronous and asynchronous teaching. So how do you actually go about teaching and ensuring that students are still getting what they need, but they don't need to actually be on the screen that whole entire time. So that's something that we will be continuing to look at, and something that we will continue to discuss as we continue on this journey during this whole pandemic. But thank you for putting in your opinions and thoughts about this, because you know what students are going through. And we want to know, we want to make sure that you are also watching out for your own mental health, your own physical well-being as well. Okay? So thank you for that. We're going to go ahead and continue on now. We're going to start with the conferences, because conference season has already begun. I've actually gone to I think I've already gone through 3 conferences already, and I've got another one coming up starting tomorrow. So as far as the conferences, we want to make sure that you understand what's going on. We've got the virtual Q conference starting tomorrow, and you can see it takes place over a course of 5 days. And so this is definitely something that you may want to look into. If you don't know what Q is, it's the Computer Using Educators Conference. And if anybody can do a virtual conference, it would be the folks here at Q. They do an excellent job here, and you'll get quite a lot of information around not just how to use computers, but different applications. And they may have some sessions on just how to find that balance between the synchronous and asynchronous work. So it's not too late to sign up for that. It's not too late to register. And if it's going to be like all the other conferences that I've attended, once the conference is over, they will most likely have a 30-day window for you to check out all of the other sessions that you wish you could have gone but couldn't. Whereas in the past, when you go to a conference, it's pretty much whatever you're able to go to, that's the content that you'll be able to get. But most of the conferences that I've gone to so far, they've extended that out. So the fall Q conference is taking place starting tomorrow, and you can still register for that. We've also got CMC South, and if you haven't registered, please do so now. It's actually a great rate of $90 for November 6th and 7th, and if you wanted to pay the extra $30, then you also have the opportunity to attend not just the CMC South, but also the CMC North. So for $120, you get to go to both conferences, and they're both taking place virtually as well. And from what I understand, again, they will probably be opening up the 30-day window after the conferences are open for you to watch all of the other great sessions that will be taking place. If you can't go to the CMC South or North, then there's also the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics virtual conference in November 11th through 14th. That's also taking place, and they are already starting plans for NCTM 2021. So again, this is a great time to take advantage because you don't have to do any traveling right now. And then for those of you who also work with the early educators, the TK through second grade group, the early childhood STEM folks are putting on their virtual conference, and it's still taking place February 23rd to 26th. They are accepting proposals right now. So if you know of any fabulous teachers that are doing anything in this whole digital world, you may want to ask them to consider putting in this proposal to help us all figure out how to do all of this as successfully and as expeditiously and beneficial as much as possible. All right. We also got the STEAM Symposium taking place in December at a whole $85, which is again a great cost because the STEAM conference is usually $285. Yeah, you heard that right, $285, and this year it's only $85. And again, you've got the option of being able to watch all the great sessions after the conference is done as well. Okay, so we'll make sure that you get all of these links. I believe it is in the resource, but if it's not, we'll make sure it gets in there right now. Okay. I also want to call to your attention some great opportunities, not just for students, but for you as teachers as well. The first one I want to bring to your attention is the LA County Science and Engineering Fair. And if you've never gone to the Science and Engineering Fair, just to let you know, there is a category on mathematics as well. So we usually see about maybe 40 to 50 students, both at the high school and the middle school level, doing some great mathematics projects. So this is something that you may want to think about doing with your students as well. For the middle school students, if they place first, second, or third place, they get to move on and are invited to submit their project to go to the Broadcom International competition. And then for the high schools, this first, second place usually get invited to attend and compete at the International Science and Engineering Fair. And so last year, the International Science and Engineering Fair took place, but it wasn't the competition as much as it was a showcase. This year that we have been told that the International Science and Engineering Fair will be taking place. I'm not sure if it's going to be a virtual competition or not though. But again, some great opportunities for you students, especially if they are showing a great affinity for competition, but are also wanting to take things to the next level. So we've got one teacher workshop left, and this one's usually reserved for the veterans. But if you want more information about this, feel free to contact me, or you can also go to their website as well. All right. We also have the LA Regional Science Olympiad taking place. So again, great opportunities for your students and for you as well. We don't know what's happening with the LA County Math competition this year. So we usually host this for 4th grade through 11th grade. Last year, we did not hold the competition, and this year we're just debating whether or not it could happen. But we're looking into it to see what the platform might look like to be able to run this kind of a competition. If we do not run this competition, there will still be other math competition opportunities, but it just may not be through the LA County Office of Education. So more news to follow with that one. And again, for the high school folks, this would have been the 3rd year of inviting high schools to this competition. So with the very first one 2 years ago, it went very well, and we are hoping to increase the numbers of high school students coming to this competition as well. All right. I just want to also bring to your attention, for those of you who were familiar with our Engaging Girls in STEM program, it's usually a day or of great opportunities for girls from middle and high school, because they get a chance to talk to professional ambassadors who are actually in the field, all the way from engineers, doctors, to scientists, mathematicians as well. And this year we are reconceptualizing this particular program and making it, turning it from a one-day event to potential 3-month period. So we're hoping to expand this program out so that we can also reach more opportunities and reach more girls, but give them the opportunities as well. So in the past, we were able to host up to 350 middle and high school girls. With this reimagination of what this program could look like, we hope to hit every single girl in the county. But we'll see what happens, but we'll definitely keep you in the loop in terms of what's going on here as well. All right, if you haven't heard, there is a new document that looks at targeting students in terms of students of color and how to make math more equitable for students, specifically at grades in the middle school. And just want to let you know that this is now available online as well. And we'll be giving you some more information about this, because there is a great teacher opportunity that is being offered to school districts right now. And it's this whole Pathway to Math Equity. It's a micro course that's being offered through San Mateo County of Office in partnership with San Mateo Community College District and Ed Trust West. And we are looking for districts who may want to do this. So districts can send up to 3 teams, so 3 people per team. And hopefully one of those teams has a district coach or TOSA as part of that. And if you don't have a district coach who's specifically math, then we are also looking for potentially an ELD coach as well, or an EL coach who could potentially help here as well. So during this training, teachers are going to be learning tools for engagement, as well as just receiving strategies and join a much larger community of practice. So even if you don't use the training, you'll still at least become part of this community to really engage in deeper discussions of equity and how to really make some significant changes in terms of how we deliver the math, but how do we get students to actually see themselves as mathematicians as well. So with this whole Pathway to Math Equity, the guide has 5 strides, and these strides are here right in front of you right now. And these 5 strides are going to be the key focus of the training that will be taking place. And again, right now we are looking for some districts to help who may want to do this. So with that, here's the dates for them. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days and some of them are asynchronous and some of them are synchronous. They are taking place right after your school day, so from 4 to 6 p.m. So what's the catch? The catch is that there isn't one. It's free. So again, if you don't have a coach who can attend with at least one of the team, then that ELD specialist could also participate. Again, we're looking for some districts, up to 3 teams, but we're actually, if we need to, we can actually go up to 6 districts with, so 1 team per district. And we, each region in California will be participating in this. I am aware of at least 1 team from LAUSD, which means that we've got 5 more teams to select from and could potentially be representative of 5 additional districts. So again, if you are a district who wants to do this, and again, it's for middle school, 6th through 8th grade, please contact myself or Jackie. We need to have those names right away. In fact, the deadline to do this is next week, but I have to have those names right away. So this is something that you want to do, please at least reach out, let me know that you're interested. I'm also going to be in the process of contacting individual districts as well. So again, if this is something that you'd like to do, contact us right away. So October 23rd is that deadline. So it is coming up really, really fast. Jackie, do you want to say anything more about that at this time?
No, aside from if you're interested in making sense of those strides a little bit more prior to those course, if you go onto the Equitable Math website, there is a couple of webinars still left for them to delve deeper into each of the strides. So the organization actually planned out multiple webinars to highlight each stride. And so there's an upcoming webinar for stride 4, and I believe that's this week, tomorrow, I believe. And so please take a look at that website if you're interested. Stride 4 targets mathematics with English learners.
All right, thanks, Jackie. All right, so the next order of business is the whole CAASPP. There's so much that is going on right now. So much has come out over the summer. And so one of the things that had occurred was this whole California Assessment Conference, which highlighted the Smarter Balanced Assessments, as well as a lot of the tools that are now available from the CAASPP website. You can see that the resources are there. There's a resource link there. Jackie will be talking a little bit more about some of these as well. But one of the big pieces is the Tools for Teachers website that is now available, which replaced the old resource tools for teachers that was on that website. So Jackie, actually, you want to take it from here?
Sure. So like Anthony said, there are a couple of new components to CAASPP. And so you'll see, I'll just take a few minutes to discuss those components. We're going to talk about the CSRS system, also known as the California Educator Reporting System, and tools for teachers. So go ahead and advance slide, Anthony. We're going to start off, before we talk about the reporting system, let's talk about the interim assessments that we're going to need to get reports from. So we know that there are 3 types of interim assessments. You have your interim comprehensive assessment, which is similar to your CAASPP assessment. So it's the grander assessment that has 30 to 50 questions on the assessment. You also have your interim assessment block, which assesses up to 8 targets, and it's typically assessed by domain. And then what's newer is the focused interim assessment block, which came out last year. And that really narrows in the focus around 1 to 3 targets within related domains. So those are the 3 different types of assessments. And go ahead and click, Anthony. Just so that you all know, those interim assessments are similar in setup to CAASPP in the sense that it's organized in the same program, and so access to different tools and accessibility features are present, but it is not computer adaptive. So it is a set of tests that are fixed, And if you decide to take it multiple times, know that you'll be taking the same exact test. It will not change. Next slide, please. And so the purpose of the interim assessments, we know that you can take these assessments to assess, it's an assessment of learning, which is a lot of times what we do when we take assessments is assess what students know, whether it be at the start of the unit, during a unit, or maybe an assessment at the end of the unit to check what did they learn. But we can also use it for an assessment for learning. So now that the interims are available to us remotely, teachers have been very creative in how they're using them. So we've seen teachers use them piece by piece and maybe use an item or two as a math warm-up or a task for the day, but they're using it during their instruction as an opportunity to really gauge what students need to know or where they need to go with their instruction. Go ahead and click, Anthony. And so you can see that this really is an opportunity for teachers to look at the question types themselves and recognize the type of demand these items are requiring students to live up to in terms of their math understanding. It also provides students as well as the teachers insight in terms of the vocabulary and the online tools that are available and needed for success on the CAASPP assessment itself. Next slide. And so now we're going to talk about the California Educator reporting system. This is newer. It's replaced the interim reporting system if you referred to that in the past. And so the difference is that they're really looking to pull data from all of the assessments that CAASPP has to offer. So in the past, we've been able to pull interim reports and gather some information around the summative, but they're really looking to have all of that information in this one place. So it's like a one-stop shop. You're going to be able to see interim data, summative data, the alternative assessment, the LPAC, the CAS data, and then the Spanish assessment data. So it's going to be all available to you at this one-stop shop. Go ahead and advance. And so if you're not familiar with the types of reports you have, you know that you're able to look at this data and you can pull data by student. So that's an example of one of the reports you can see. Go ahead and advance slide. And then if I'm looking at the value of pulling the reports is that I can pull up an assessment and I can even sort by item. So in pulling up problem by item, I can look at the data overall and identify what items are students struggling with in general, what items are students doing well in. So knowing that we're limited on time, how are we going to strategically review or target instruction so students are getting what they need? Advanced slide. And then another great feature in terms of the reports is that you're able to pull up a key distractor report. So again, pulling up some real specific data that is already created for you and automated is something that's a definite time saver for us as teachers, and really will give us information as to what are some of the misconceptions that students are having and how do we address that in a timely fashion. Next slide. And so we're going to move on to tools for teachers. Once we have that information in, CAASPP has really thought about and being really open to the feedback they've received from their teachers. And so a lot of the information that they've gotten was the digital library needed some improvements. And so what they did was they replaced the digital library with tools for teachers. This is a site that's created by teachers and is really well thought out. It's organized, so it actually complements or supports the data that's received from the interims. It doesn't have to be aligned to it in the sense that if you don't take the interims, you can still utilize the resources within the site, but they are organized in a way that it is ready to use. Next slide. So tools for teachers, we're going to have a quick minute to look over it, but you're able to search and filter your search by standards, by grades, by content connections playlists, which again, is connected to the interim. So, but if your students do take the interim assessment and they score near proficient, or do need additional support, then the Connections playlist really directs you to certain lessons within the Tools for Teachers resource. And so teachers are then able to pull up those specific lessons and use that for instruction.
So
The
Jackie,
different,
just to let you know, Jackie, they actually won't have time to actually play around with it, but if you put in the chat box, let us know if you'd like to see a webinar, a separate webinar regarding this whole Tools for Teachers portion to help you walk through that piece. And that would let us know about what else we can do to serve your needs.
there's a website for Tools for Teacher. In the resource link, you actually will have this lab document. It's if you wanted to actually go through the process yourself and need a step-by-step instructional guide to take you through all the steps to how to navigate through that resource. I've included that in the folder as well.
And again, as you're looking through this, either on your own or if we do put on another resource webinar, but just think about these questions that Jackie have highlighted. How might the resource be used by teachers? How might they benefit from a teacher's use of this resource as well? So again, lots of things have occurred over the short amount of time that since last spring. So we have the CD really have created a whole slew of resources to assist with what's going on here. I thought I saw something in the chat box. Oh yeah, so webinar for Tools for Teachers would be great. So Jackie is going to be right on that. All right. So there's also still opportunities for you to get involved with CAASPP because they're still looking for people to help with the California Alternative Assessment in the area specifically of math, ELA, and science. If any of you have definitely the Spanish background, you can definitely help with the Spanish items. The requirements are that, of course, you must be able to attend the meetings 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You should have at least a bachelor's degree. And then, of course, the knowledge and experience you're looking for is for that whole system content. Also, again, if you have experience with specific student populations as well. Was there something in the chat box? Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So there's also still time for you to also get involved with the LPACs as well. So they are looking for English language development teachers as well as special education. So if you have colleagues who fit the bill, please, we can't do this without their assistance. Again, there's a minimum qualifications. And again, of course, they'll need to be able to attend the full meetings, the full day meetings from 8 to 5. Okay. The interim assessment item portal is also now available again as well. So you should be able to access them both remotely and be able to use them right away. I think I'm missing some other things here, but the interim assessments again are available. So all of the ICAs, IABs, and the focused IABs are available for your use right now. Again, they are by grade level, starting at grade 3. They don't have anything younger than that. So nothing for the kinder, first or second, just for the areas that are being tested. So that's grade 3 through 11 right now. Okay. We want to make sure that you are also aware of association meetings. Oh, actually, let me back up. No, I'll continue from here. So for those of you who aren't aware, we have a Southern California Math Teacher Specialist Network. So again, this particular webinar are for teachers, for administrators, anybody who is not at the coaching TOSA specialist level. But if you want to join that particular network, we have a whole separate dates for this, and we go into a little bit more details with our follow-ups, and we meet more on a monthly basis. This particular webinar, we meet 5 times during the year. But for those of you who are interested, you can see that there are dates here. The next meeting is taking place December 3rd, and they meet every first Thursday from 8:15 and 9:45. So if you are a classroom teacher, I know that this is difficult for you. They don't record the meetings as far as I know at this point. But if you are, again, a TOSA or in a similar role, this is the network for you, because you'll be able to create a network that's, again, Southern California. So we're talking about Santa Barbara all the way down to San Diego and Imperial. Okay. But we also want to make sure that we're, again, focused on you as well. So we're trying to work on your social emotional learning and your social emotional needs. And so one of the things that I'm asking for is I'm looking for stories from the field, special education, other education leaders as well, because we are going to be launching an interactive digital library called A Day in the Life, hashtag Tell the Story. And so if you are inclined, please share this out with your teachers, with your colleagues. If you are married to another teacher as well, please share this out. We want to hear their stories. So I'm actually going to stop this particular share and show you what this magazine is going to look like. I thought I had it up, so I apologize. Where to go? There it is. All right. So, and I'm going to put this in the chat box as well. I think that should be it. So when you go here, you'll read about our intentions for doing this, as well as how this developed. You watched this video, so we would definitely love to hear what you noticed, what you wondered, and what does this video have to do with you. So you can send me your responses, and we'll go ahead and upload them onto this page. We also have a neat little thing called 10 words to describe your day. So again, you can see here in this first box, in 10 words, how is your day going? And in this first box, this comes from a teacher in New York. Are schools opening? Ask again later, the magic 8-ball says. We have other things here. Again, another teacher from New York. I see the timer counting down, and I'm like, ugh. So, you know, it's just kind of a platform for teachers to share with other teachers how they're feeling about things. We also have something like this one. How are you navigating the teaching in 2020, 2021? And again, you can play this video clip and then kind of watch it before you actually send in your response. But we also have this resource page in terms of apps for mindfulness, hotlines and agencies, and then just how you can actually relax with coloring, games, and journaling. So please share this with other teachers, and if they are, again, inclined to send something to me, then they might be able to see it on this digital magazine. So please share that out. We'd love to be able to sustain this kind of work right now as well. Okay, let me go back to PowerPoint. All right. So on another note, we also have this one here. I know that this is specifically for mathematics, but because we're talking about equity and women in STEM fields, there's this movie showing viewing that's taking place. It's called Picture Scientist, and really it's about how women at the university level are kind of disenfranchised by the ability to do what they need to do in terms of leadership roles, etc., and how they have been treated over the last couple of decades. And if you are not able to join us November 6th for this panel discussion, don't worry. If you register for this, you'll be able to watch this film on your own beginning November 5th. And if November 5th doesn't work, November 6th doesn't work, then you'll have November 7th, which is a Saturday, to watch it as well. It's a great film. It's about just a little over an hour long. if you're going to watch it with kids, just to let you know, there is objectionable language here because again, it is such a powerful and moving film. If you're watching with a high school student, great. Middle school's up to you, but definitely for the younger kids, just wanted to let you know there is language that's objectionable here. So just want to let you know. And again, you don't have to be present for the panel discussion. When you register, it will be asking if you will be able to join us for that panel. But again, this is available to you. And again, a great film, especially when it comes to women in equity as well. So like, we'll make sure you get the link, the registration link for this one. Again, if you haven't or are not aware, the computer science is up here because California has adopted computer science standards, and those computer science standards are slowly making its way and threading into not just science, but especially at the mathematics level. So one of the things that have been created is an equity guide for administrators. This is definitely something that teachers may want to look into, but we're also there's also some opportunities for you to take a look at like this website, what the K-12 progression looks like in terms of computer science standards and how it actually plays a role in the math, in the science, and other content areas. There's some other things that are coming up as a result of computer science standards. There's going to be something called a Winter of CS. So you may or may not be familiar with something called the Summer of CS, which was a set of a Summer Institute, specifically targeting teachers. There's also one for administrators and one for counselors. And so because of the success of that summer, there's plans to do a winter of CS as well. Again, for one for administrators, one for teachers, and one for counselors. And that will probably be taking place, I think, if not in December, then in January. So more information to follow with that one. As far as math updates, lots of things are available. I know that we are in the second quarter, but if you aren't aware, there is this whole priority instructional content in ELA and mathematics. So this kind of is a roadmap, or it lays out what are really important things that you need to focus on. And this is from the Achieve the Core organization. And again, they have called out how you can potentially address the standards. And they'll tell you, here you can do this one really quickly. Here's where you can really focus on, where you need to focus on. This particular document that you're looking at is specifically for K-8, and again for ELA and mathematics. High school folks, don't worry, because this one just got released as well. Oh, it didn't come out. Well, there's one for high school as well, just to let you know. So this document is for K-8, and then there's a high school version that's only mathematics. They don't have a high school ELA one, but there is a high school mathematics because there was a demand for that. All right, and there's also a high school statewide committee that are looking at that particular document, as well as looking at potentially other resources to be developed and to be shared with all of you to guide the mathematics at that higher level, the high school level as well. Other things that are also taking place. Yesterday was ended day 2 of the latest math framework updates that are taking place. And so at this time, the math framework is still moving forward. We should have a framework probably by next year. And then next year, that also begins the process for adoption, or at least start the adoption. So you're looking at brand new textbooks in 2022, 2023, okay? So that's a year that adoptions will probably be taking place for mathematics. And remember that when it comes to adoptions in California, adoptions take place only for kinder through 8th grade, okay? Only for kinder through 8th grade. So once the frameworks are done, then the work for the instruction materials will begin. And then once instructional materials begin, then that's when they will begin re-examining the assessments as well to match what's going on in those frameworks. Okay. What else is going on? So we want to make sure that you're aware of additional trainings that are taking place coming up. So we've got STEAM Ahead in Your Classroom, which is a partnership with the California State Library System. And so there's an elementary session taking place October 26th, and elementary is K through 5th grade. Middle and high school sessions is October 26th, and this is 6th grade through 12th grade. But we also know that when it comes to 6th grade, depending on what your system is, if you are part of an elementary school, then you're free to sign up for either one of them. Jackie, you want to say anything more about this particular event here?
No, you pretty much covered it, but there's a correction to that date. It should be October 27 for middle and high school session. And there, it's just an opportunity for you to see how ProQuest, Britannica, and Teaching Books has come together to put resources online for teachers to use in their classroom.
And just in case, because we are showing this as a recording, let me go ahead and change that right now. All right, there you go. So it's October 27th. We also have the True Mathematics Developing Agency as we learn about fractions training. And our very own Jackie Booker is working with Santa Clara County Office of Education to put on this 3-part series, November 4th, November 7th, and I think this is right, December 1st, right?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to say anything more about this one, Jackie?
This is a great opportunity to learn about the True Mathematics Framework. There's 5 dimensions within the framework, and we're highlighting fractions within the series. And so it's great to have a team join along across your organization and site to see the progressions within the fractions domain. You're welcome to also attend if you are not a 3rd through 5th grade teacher and you want to know what your kids are looking forward to as they move on up in the grade levels, or what your students should know in terms of fractions if you are in the middle school range. So please feel free to sign up. We're excited to have you.
Jackie, what's the cap on this event?
The cap is 50.
Okay, and I believe when I last checked, we had close to 40 people. So it is filling up. So if this is something of interest to you, register as soon as you can. All right. If you need more resources, if you have not been receiving the STEM notes, please let us know. But because you are on this call now, that you should be receiving it next month for sure. And I'm going to stop here right now to show you what this looks like. And again, for those of you who have not seen this document before, it's going to be scary the first time you look at it. And I'm going to tell you not to freak out because it is currently about 120 pages. And the first thing that you want to do when you get this is focus on this table of content right here, because this is will give you the sections that are available here. So there's something called the LACO announcements, non-LACO workshops, STEM unit workshops, grants, teacher opportunities, student opportunities, conferences, as well as a whole slew of resources. The second thing that you'll want to look at is this highlights page, and I will blow this up so that you can see what this looks like. So with this highlights, it's stuff that I get a lot of email on a daily basis. So I actually cull through all of my emails, and then if I think it's worthy to go into the STEM notes, it goes in here. And then I highlight certain ones that I think is going to be most important to you as teachers. So again, I've got that whole LACO math workshop for 3rd to 5th grade. There's this whole task force. There's a California Math Council math book study that's available. And then when you see something that you like here on this one, just go ahead and hover over it, and then it'll take you right over to that particular page. So you can see here, there's this West Ed Algebra 1 study group that's taking place right now. And we're also in the midst of presidential awards for excellence in math and science teaching. And I thought that this was going to be the secondary year, but it looks like it's grades K through 6. So if you know of a great kinder through 6th grade teacher in math or science, make sure that they fill this out because the applications are due October 26th, next week. Again, when you go through these pages, again, lots of things that are going on, teacher opportunities that are right here. Again, conferences, grant information, etc. And then some of you may be interested in this section right here, which is the math resources. And I've got something like, I don't know, 4 or 5 pages of resources on mathematics. And then you can see that anything that's colored in this kind of a brownish red, that's new resources that have been included. Everything that's in black are kind of one that have been in existence a while or have already been highlighted once before. So again, lots of information here. And then I'll send this out to all of you. But it's also, I think, on the resource link that's on the page. Speaking of that resource, here's what you're going to be getting. Here's what should be in that link for you right now. So the link that you got for this October 21st, 2020, and then you can see here, you've got your PowerPoint that we made available to you, the resources for October, and then a bunch of different flyers as well. And then you can see here, Jackie has also added the tools for teacher lab sessions exploration. So again, please look at this at your own time. And if you have any questions, you're always welcome to email us at any time. I'm going to go back to PowerPoint. The other thing that I want to talk to you about is this one right here. Hashtag no invisible. We want to make sure that you see students. And this came out, this came out from Dr. Stephen Pruitt, who is with the Southern Regional Education Board. And he was featured at this weekend's Science Teachers Conference, but he has a huge message to share with all of you. And basically it's about students and how students feel ignored. And as a result of feeling ignored, they do not want to try or impress or they're just kind of lost. So here's his message. We definitely need to see them, and we need to see them as who they are, not necessarily because of what they're doing, etc. But we need to see them. We need to actually make eye contact with them. We need to really say hi to them, greet them, etc. Because sometimes they're ignored. Dr. Pruitt actually talked about how he grew up with a teacher as his mom, but you would think that as having a mom as a teacher, you would get a lot of attention. He was actually ignored. So he actually talks about this, and we need to see students. We need to see our students online, especially when we're online. We need to encourage them, as we all do, but we need to actually take that next step of encouragement in terms of just kind of watching out for them, looking out for their well-being as well. We need to expect them. And when we say expect, when we're saying expect, in this case, it's not have high expectations of them as much as expect them to ask us questions, expect us to reach out to us. And if they're not, we need to be doing something about that, okay? We need to really talk with them and not talk with them as teachers as much as if there's time, like take 2 or 3 minutes. How is your day? Right now with the whole isolation of students, not being with their friends, not being in close proximity with other people, they're feeling a little kind of lost, just like we are kind of feeling lost at times as well. I can tell you that I am definitely becoming a Zoom zombie at this point. I'm seeing the same people every day, and it gets a little stir crazy. So have a conversation with them when you can. Build in that time to just chat with them a few moments. That's all it takes. we need to hear them. We need to really take a moment to really listen to them. If it's about a problem with the homework assignment, but we just need to really listen and not just kind of say, okay, thank you for that, and then move on. We really need to listen to our students. We need to embolden them as well. We need to allow them to take ownership. We need to allow them to be able to not cause friction, not rock the boat, as much as we need to allow them to take a stand in some cases, maybe even push back to a little bit of a degree. And more importantly, we need to mentor them. And so if you're able to do all of these collectively together, then you will see them. And that's the message that he wants. And this is something that he would love for all of us to actually do on our social media. Again, hashtag see them, no invisibles, right? Okay, so I just want to thank you for that. But before we go, we actually have some time, a little bit of time, if you so need to ask us questions. But if you need to go, it's 4 o'clock. I understand it's a little past 4, but we're here for you and we'll take some questions now. Thank you, everybody. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.